Let's go!
I found a gaming PC on Facebook Marketplace for $110, but I was able to haggle him down to $108.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I know, right? The listing didn't have any specs in the description, but based on the pictures, I was able to part it together, and it should be worth like 350 bucks.
Not bad.
Why is it so cheap? Well, there's two problems with it, at least. It says it's broken.
Okay.
And it smells like cat pee.
What the fuck? Why? What?
I don't know.
Why would you buy it then?
It could be a really good deal.
It could also not. You could like barely recover your costs, right?
Okay, yeah. I mean, worst case, I get a new case and a CPU cooler, which is worth about that much, $110.
Which smells like cat pee.
Okay, I can clean it.
3-hour drive.
Road trip! Road trip!
It does kind of smell like cat pee. My friend said that his cat peed on it, if that matters.
Oh no, that's good. I like that.
It's real. And it works. It has more than I thought. Okay. Even if that makes everything smell like cat pee, I don't give a fuck. You guys gotta see this. This bitch works. And I saw this last second. Pull it out. An Elgato capture card.
Ooh.
That's sick.
So it's even more profitable if it is destroyed.
Yeah, he was like, oh, it turns out it turns on. And yeah, I touched it, powered on, and the memory's in the wrong spots. That was sick. $100 for a full working computer. I need to know what's inside of it. Holy shit. I couldn't wait any longer. We were gonna do this tomorrow, but I really wanna check out what we have in here because there's a couple things I don't know. Mostly the processor and the SSD, and oh my God, a cat really did pee on this. There is gunk. Okay, and I had to learn about this case because apparently it's a good case. It's a Lee Mini or something, but it can be very modular. So what are we working with here? Oh yeah, we have a Type-C up front. This is, if I can get this cleaned up, it's a nice case. And we have 4 Noctua fans. That is a pretty big selling point. Also, what I noticed right away in the pictures is this graphics card is not supposed to be white. This is a Power Color Red Devil RX 580, and they come black. So somebody like plasti dipped this because it feels really smooth. But I also see like little bits of solid, dried grossness. Also, this fan's missing some blades. I don't know what happened there. The back side panel. I already have my tools here. A couple screwdrivers and some cleaning fluid and utensils. Here's the back of the computer. Very dusty power supply. I want to clean that best I can because this is a good one. It's an EVGA 650GA. Okay. I knew it was at least that. Could have been a 750 though. Okay, I'm gonna pull out the graphics card. No, wait, should I try to turn it on first? Because he turned it on right before I left. He was like, oh, it turns out it turns on. I've just got a monitor and a keyboard here, and let's see if she powers on and what she gives us. Power supply on. We have lights. We have camera in action. It went to boot. It's waking up. I don't see a display, but it went to boot. There, it flicked, it flashed. Damn. Okay, so we're gonna do that again. I'm just gonna hit delete because I want to get to BIOS and see what we have. But also choice wallpaper. But it works. I didn't have to do anything. It just worked. So whoever is like, it doesn't work. 2 people in a row didn't know what was going on. Okay, that's exactly the processor I guessed. Ryzen 5 3600. It's okay. That was kind of the middle of the road, mid-range one that I could see happening. 16 gigs of 3200. I assume that's as high as it is, unless for whatever reason it was just set to that. But the computer just works. So I just have to clean it, which sucks, but awesome. Nothing's broken. Take out the front here. Oh, we have Arctic fans in the front. Oh my God, this is gross. Splatter. Just splatter.
All that reflection is cat pee.
Oh, great. You know, I dealt with a computer that had like roaches inside of it. I think this is worse. Yeah, time to figure out exactly what this is. I'm only 90% sure it's a 580. Oh, that latch is solid. Okay. Yeah, a red devil. This has been painted. Yeah, it looks really nice. You can see the solid P all over it. Okay, and the sticker, RX 588 gig. That's as good as it gets. And it's never been opened, according to that sticker. So how was it painted? Maybe they just used these screws to take it off, because you can probably access it just by taking these off. Interesting. Yeah, this is a decent paint job. That's a cool card. I like that. Very custom. Here's that Elgato capture card, HD60 Pro. That's cool. That's like 50 bucks or so. Here's the RAM that's in the... Oh wait, no, the RAM's not in the wrong slots. I was making something up when I thought that. Now these are the correct slots. T-Force RAM, looks like, yeah, 16 gigs of DDR4 3200, CL16. That's not bad, it's just not optimal for DDR4. You would want 3600, but they're RGB sticks. Oh well. One reason why it probably wasn't booting is I noticed these IO plates were just out and around, so there's a good chance that something was shorting. I don't think it's supposed to make that sound. If I just take this off, I'll have access to the processor. I'm just a little sad it's not an 8-core processor. I already have a 3600, but now I feel less bad about selling mine. Ooh, that's still wet. That's a good cooler. I might put this cooler in my main computer, because it's better than what I have. Otherwise, the last thing I need is to access this SSD. Ooh. Solid cat pee. And we're working with, it's only a 250 gig drive, so that's like on the smallest side of what's acceptable. But 970 Evo Plus, that's like one of the better ones. That's pretty solid. So it has a DRAM cache, which is very necessary. And this board, yeah, B558 Pro, is exactly what I thought it was. And yeah, I'm gonna take this power supply out, and then I'm just gonna have to clean everything by hand. Now, the thing is, depending on how much I can sell whatever I don't want to keep for, is the profit worth it compared to all the work? Not too surprised that after a cat peed on this, or peed inside of it, that it was deemed not working, because maybe it shorted something, or something. But I'm curious, I don't know, how they just didn't get it to spin back up, because it worked for me.
This looks nuts. Like, the cable management here is awful.
Yeah, this is not good.
Folks, if your computer looks like this...
Get help. This is a triple fan header.
Whoa.
That's a 1-for-3 deal right there. Is this there's more fans plugged in. Is this another triple fan header?
Holy moly.
What the frick? There's 2 more.
There's 2 more?
Where do you get these? Where do these come from? Now, we don't have all of the power supply cables, but we do have enough. So there's 3 missing here. All of the SATA. So for some reason, they deemed that they did not need SATA in this build, even though the only storage drive they had was a 250 gig. Maybe they're using externals? I don't know, but for some reason, they also electrical taped these headers. Why? What was the point? I doubt there's anything wrong with them. All day tomorrow is just gonna be cleaning. When computers are abandoned, the intel inside is put up for sale. This is what I'm looking for. Damn. Oh, look at all this zoink scoop. Look at this good deal I got. I wouldn't put this in my PC. Aw, cha-ching. I've had the Piss PC for a little over a week now, and it is all cleaned up for the most part.
Still does smell like cat piss.
All right, it's mostly cleaned, and I'll do a little bit more before I try to sell this. But for now, let's just go over the cost of everything and how much value I got inside of this $100 broken computer that a cat happened to pee on, the Piss PC. So first we have the processor. This is a Ryzen 5 3600. On eBay right now, they're going for about $45. So that is already almost half of the price. Cooling it is a Noctua NH-U12S. This is actually a fairly expensive cooler. Yes, you can get away with like a Thermalright, like $30, $40 cooler, but this is $70-ish. However, I am taking out the Noctua cooler, and I'll probably use something like the Wraith Stealth, and I'll have to make sure first that it is adequate enough for cooling before I sell it with this. The motherboard's an MSI B550A Pro. A cheap motherboard can go for about 50 bucks on the used market, but a new one's about 100. This is actually a fairly decent board. It doesn't have 2.5 gig Ethernet, but it does have Type-C and 3.1 Gen 2 port on it. So $50 is very conservative, and I think a fair price. We have 16 gigs of Team Group 3200 CL16 DDR4. I measured this at about $15. 3200 isn't optimal. You would want something like 3600, but 32 is more of a minimum. It's okay. The only amount of storage in this computer is a 250 gigabyte Samsung 970 EVO Plus M.2 SSD. This is a really good SSD, but it's just really small, and I'm surprised there wasn't any extra storage in this. So I may or may not do anything about that when I go to sell it. We'll see. But it's a good drive, at least, a good boot drive. I measured it at about $20. The graphics card is the Red Devil version of the RX 588 gig. 580s were good some years ago. They came out mid-range. Anymore, they're very much a minimum. But the 8 gigabytes of VRAM is also good compared to the 4 gig versions. And this Red Devil card looks really cool, and it's custom with its little white paint job. I measured this at about $50, but some people can get them for a bit less because this isn't really a sought after card. Powering everything is an EVGA 650GA power supply. It's lacking the SATA cables, which kind of suck, but it powers everything else you need it to. It's about $40 used. The computer came with 4 Noctua 120mm fans. I only have 3 in here, I want to keep one. And new, they're about $16 each. I put them down to about roughly $10 each, so that's $30 of fans in this PC, minus also the 140mm Arctic fans in the front. There's also an Elgato HD60 Pro. Those go for about $60 on the used market, but I also will not be including it in this PC. And lastly, everything is inside the Lian Li 011 Air Mini. Could have been an expensive case back when it was available, but I put it at about $60. It's a fairly modular case, but given this thing's condition, it's not fully cleaned. There's a couple areas where you can still see the dust and all the perforation. It's not optimal. I'm gonna get it a little bit better, but this is a good case. It's also really heavy. I paid $108. The value for everything is about $450. But after the stuff I'm gonna take out of it, like the cooler and the Elgato, that sits at $310 for this computer. That's pretty good. I tripled or quadrupled my money, depending on how you look at it. So I could sell this for $350 to $400, and that would be a pretty good flip. I could ask people to like and subscribe. That's about it. And we do have a couple members videos coming out on this subject. We have the drive to get the computer, and then we have the cleaning bit. So if you want to subscribe for a few bucks a month, you can see those videos.
Put it down.